Okay, welcome to Hitman Enter World Assassination. I am Brandon Carey, and this is intended to be kind of a complement to the Blood Money Let's Play. Whereas we've played that game, we're going to compare it to this game to see what's been changed and improved on since Blood Money, which was 10 years ago. Now, I am doing this post-commentary style. I did record audio with the original recording of this episode, but I was not happy with it, and I'm honestly not happy with any of the audio I've recorded for any of the Hitman LP for this game. So, I'm doing it post-commentary style. Now this tutorial mission takes place before any of the other Hitman games. This is when 47 first got trained by the ICA. Right now I'm just I'm not sure why I'm doing this. I think I was just testing to see if the recording was still going. So now we go in and, this is where 47 meets Diana for the first time.
Majestic, isn't it? I'm Diana. I'll take you to your quarters.
Someone likes to keep secrets.
Secrets are our stock and trade. Besides, from what I hear, you have a few of your own. I'm not like you, in case you're wondering. I'm in the Handler program. Agents and handlers work in unity. You know the expression, know your enemy? Well, that part is my job.
Knowing your enemy is only half the victory.
I know. You also need to know yourself.
Yeah, so this is 47's first contact with the agency.
Impressive work. Hardly textbook, but I suppose fieldwork never is. Tell me, what did it feel like, taking lives?
Random. Disordered.
Is that why you came here? Why you let us test you?
Maybe I'm not the only one being tested.
Well, we are here. Basic training starts at 0600 hours. I should leave you to prepare.
Are you sure about this?
I am.
There are no second chances, Miss Burnwood. Not here.
I choose him.
May I inquire why? A blank slate.
It's worth noting that although Diana is ostensibly a good guy,
Perhaps I see possibility.
or at least not a villain in this game,
We'll see.
she could have chosen any field that she wanted.
He's not sharing.
We will check
Yet,
up on his story.
she decided to become a handler for a program that
Keep him under close watch.
is explicitly there to kill people. Like, she could do, maybe be a doctor or a lawyer or anything like that, but she instead chose to be a handler for a hitman as her job. So, like, even though she's, like, not the most evil person in the series, she's, like 47, she's not a good guy.
Infiltrated Ritter's private yacht during a social gathering and discreetly eliminated him without any of the guests noticing. Now you will do the same. Oh, and don't worry about the training operatives. All weapons are simulated.
So since this is a training mission for 47, and simply for the player as well since the tutorial, they justify it by saying that these are all ICA employees playing the show for you, and that every combat in every situation is simulated. Like there is no one actually getting hurt during the simulation. It's all fake. So it's a strange conceit, but it's kind of like the charm Hitman, where it's intentionally goofy. It's killing in a goofy way, so it works. Because although Hitman pretends to take itself seriously, it knows its place. It has a sense of humor about it, and we'll see that going into the other episodes.
Put on his clothes. That's a first. Might just work though. People do tend to see uniforms, not faces.
I think it's really weird that 47 is the first person in all of the ICA to think about using a disguise. That's kind of a weird thought, because the disguise mechanic is such a core to what makes Hitman what it is. I had to think of all these assassins who aren't dressing up in disguises. It's a strange thought. It's a strange feeling. So this game mechanically improves on the disguise system in a couple of ways. First off, like where in Blood Money, the disguise was kind of like a magical key that could get you through certain doors. Like if I were to dress up as the guard, I could walk through undetected. In here, that's generally the case, but there are some people like shift supervisors or people who are human resources who will recognize people will recognize you even through the disguise. So, like for this particular example, the shift supervisor will recognize 47 through the disguise because he should know his employees. Whereas the other people will not recognize him. Like, normal crew will just let him go by.
Ride like this? Shame. My sister's husband's got
And there's the other thing, whereas in Blood Money, if he made eye contact with you, you would be instantly detected. Whereas in this game, there is that vision cone of, oh, I see you, you're kind of suspicious, but I'm not onto you yet. And that gives you enough time to change where you're located to block line of sight so that they don't immediately try to kill you. I really should have turned Steam offline before I recorded this footage. That was a mistake. I usually do. I don't know why I forgot to for the tutorial. I guess this was because of my first time actually recording.
This is not the goddamn hangar, son. Can't have any grease monkeys tinkering about here.
I also like this tutorial because it gives you a rundown of all the basic mechanics in a way that makes sense for Hitman. Like what? Why else? Like, what other scenario could you think of to justify 47 learning the basic mechanics of the game, aside from his initial training? It gives you a way that makes sense for the character to learn it, and it's also a good tutorial in that, and we'll see this in a bit, it holds your hand just enough where it makes you comfortable without being annoying. Like, it generally assumes that you're smart enough to figure some things out on your own, but it's there to help you if you're not. And if you're not, and if you are familiar, you can just keep going and skip all the tutorial stuff and just move on. And if you need the extra help, it's there for you.
Unlike mechanics, the cabin crew is allowed upstairs access.
Which, you know, given how bad the tutorial in Blood Money was, that's a marked improvement. And we didn't do the tutorial in Blood Money because it was really bad and I didn't want to. But I'm showing this off because it is actually a pretty good tutorial level for this franchise. Teach you the basics of disguise, that certain disguises can work in certain areas and others can't. Teach you the basics of blending into your environment. Teach you the basics of finding your target and finding a way to execute him so that no one knows where you are, and that you can do it quietly. It's a lot of interesting things going on. And this is a mechanic they introduced in Absolution because of the terrible way it did its disguise system, where even if, like, for example, the target, he knows all of the staff. So if we were just walking around as a crewman, he would recognize us. But here, 47 is blending in to the disguise. And since he's blended in, he will be recognized no matter, even if the person knows that he is not the actual person, or an actual crew member. So if he were to turn around and look at us right now when we were blended in, he wouldn't be able to recognize us still. And this is what happened during the recording, is that those two characters are supposed to have a scripted dialogue sequence, which will transition into the guy in the white suit hiring our target for a theft. But the dialogue didn't trigger, and it took me a while to realize that the game had glitched. And once I did, I loaded a save, an autosave, because the game has a pretty good autosave system, where it keeps track of the past 8 autosaves. So you don't feel like you ever lost a lot of progress if something goes wrong because of a glitch or because you screwed up. We'll have to deal with those Steam pop-ups in this somehow. So I don't know why I restarted the mission. I really should have just loaded up a previous save.
Your first mission originally took place in Sydney,
Seems like
Australia.
it's a questionable action.
Master thief for hire,
I guess it's not that bad. We didn't lose much progress. Only a couple minutes.
Private yacht during a social gathering and discreetly eliminated him without any of the guests noticing. Now you will do the same. Oh, and don't worry about the training operatives. All weapons are simulated.
Alright, let's do this. Again. So I guess this is me showing off how if you know what you're supposed to do, you can just kind of bypass most of the tutorial bits. Or, I guess not. I'm not sure what Past Me was thinking. Past Me must have been an idiot.
Sorry. Sir, I would strongly listen to his advice.
Or maybe Past Me was trying to figure out the controls, because this is the first time this is actually the first time I played the game on the PC version. I had previously played on console only, the PS4. So I was still getting used to the PC controls of this game at the time of this recording. I got better as the recordings went on.
You put on his clothes. That's a first. Might just work though. People do tend to see uniforms, not faces. Be cautious though. Some people are more observant than others.
Alright.
Not bad, initiate.
Second verse, same as the first. This is a good time to talk about the difference is between this game and the one that took place between Blood Money and this game, Absolution. In Absolution, they butchered the disguise system. Because in this game, in Absolution, the way it worked is that if you dressed up as a police officer, then anyone who wasn't a police officer would treat you like a police officer, but anyone who was a cop would be able to see right through your disguise. So because you're usually spending disguises trying to get past guards, it basically made disguising up as a guard useless. Because all the guards would recognize you. You'd be wasting your time. However, if you dressed up as someone unique, like a chef or a judge, someone who, since there's only one person who fits that profile and level, you should be recognized by, you were completely safe. So it kind of screwed up the idea of you being this master of disguise. By making the disguises make no sense. The most abundant disguise, the cop, happens to be the one that's the most useless because everyone can see through all the cops. But this one judge in the courthouse, everyone won't recognize you because you're the only judge. It's fine. You can go right by. it was a very weird system that didn't really make any sense. And they changed it in this game, and now it's probably the best disguise system that this series has ever had. Where it makes sense that most people wouldn't recognize a crew member, but maybe a supervisor or the owner of the yacht would. That makes total sense to me. And now that the dialogue isn't bugged out, we can finish the tutorial mission.
I didn't lie, Callista. Look, you don't have to retire just because you leave the field. Most great players simply become managers.
You're recruiting.
It's always funny to listen to targets talk about themselves when they don't realize they're about to die.
Not with that attitude, they don't.
And there is that kind of morbid sense of humor throughout the entire franchise, but this game definitely takes advantage of it in a lot of interesting ways.
Not before 6. My wife is very insistent about that rule.
My sympathies. So, excellent timing. I just had the computer set up in my office. Shall we?
Yes, please, lead the way.
So now that those guys have arranged a meeting in the back room, we're going to just follow them and take advantage of this meeting for ourselves. And we can't shoot him while the old man is looking at him, because obviously that would be suspicious, but once the old man turns his back, we'll fire a shot.
Not my usual seeing technology. Most of my clients are art collectors. So what is it anyway? Some type of reactor?
There we go. And that's actually a pretty sloppy hit, but it's a tutorial mission, so it's not supposed to be pretty. And we're just gonna stroll right out of the whole level. Because we're looking for a crew member, they're not looking for a mechanic. And the mechanic can't walk in this way, but he can walk out that way without being suspicious at all. And since you normally escape through the car, they just put a button by the car. Once you press it, the mission ends.
Challenge complete. Good work, Initiate.
Because it's a simulation, not an actual level. We're in an airplane hangar right now that's been set up for this mission.